Welcome, friends, to Tanks Up the podcast. All about video games and craft beer. It's 2026. Shit. And we're back. I'm Ben here with Lucy.
Hello,
Hey.
Ben. It's 2026
I know.
and things are already awful. So. Good stuff.
Cold and wet and windy and miserable.
I wasn't even talking
Don't call it newly awful. It's always been here.
Yeah. The weather's the least problematic thing about it.
That is one of the worst Ladies Love Cool James paraphrases you've heard in a while.
Brilliant.
Cool, what are we talking about?
Don't call it a comeback.
I've been here for years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was a very bad paraphrase.
Yeah.
It worked. It is episode 456. Those of you returning from last year, 455 was our sort of end of year show. So we're going to launch into 2026 with hopefully some positivity, but always with some beers. Who is drinking this evening? Lucy, have you got a beer?
I'm drinking, in a sense.
Okay.
It's an alcohol-free beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a holdover from last year's alcohol-free beer.
Whole year old. Slash more.
I don't think these age particularly well, but we'll see. It's a Nirvana Brewery traditional Bavarian Hefeweizen. Proudly alcohol-free, a naturally cloudy, traditionally brewed, top-fermented wheat ale. Lovingly made using a recipe dating back to Bavaria, Germany in the 16th century. The high percentage of wheat yeast gives a sweet and soft taste with hints of banana, cloves, and spice. It just described a Hefeweizen. Okay. Yep. 500 ml.
Oh, big one. Nice.
Yeah, it says 0.3% ABV.
0.3? Okay. Interesting. You don't often see that. You either get 0 or 0.5.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering, because isn't it, like, it don't have to have, like, different standards if it's, like, alcohol-free versus low alcohol?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think, but I don't, I'm going to have to look into this, but I don't think 0.3 threads the needle, right? Like, I think 0.5 is the alcohol-free needle, and then not an alcoholic beverage is the 0.01 or whatever.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Alcohol-free.
But I mean, people love their numbers, even if they don't mean anything. There's a paper that I'm kind of writing that maps to that. It's part of the book that I keep threatening to write about the tyranny of the metric. But yeah, if I was a marketer and I could get me to say this alcohol-free beer is 0.3 and versus the 0.5s, given that they have to usually say the percentage is really fairly large compared to a beer's percentage, that's reasonable. Although I'm super curious now because the last time I deep dived on methods of freeing the alcohol from the beverage, there's a reason why 0.5 was the standard, just because of this just sort of works and gets you to here.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if that has been tweaked so it's just as easy, or if they're doing something extra just for the points.
Perhaps.
Alcohol. I'm assuming that the consumer interpretation of alcohol freeness is like golf, right? It's a lower number. It's more alcohol free.
I don't know.
But I don't think it's a strong one, right? I don't think it's someone I'm not going to buy this 0.5 that fucking tastes almost like a beer so that I buy the 0.4 which tastes wretched.
Yes.
I don't think it's there, but I could see how that might have some market effects. God, fucking capitalism. I hate my brain has been trained for these types of bullshit.
To get you off of this slide, what are you drinking this evening, Aadil?
Oh, I'm drinking a beer from Indie Rabble Brewing Company. It is the Loosey Goosey.
Oh,
nice.
little goose.
Honkers.
Yeah, so I got it. One, I may have had something from them before, but I don't recall. Obviously, a Lucy call out and a Goose Game call out in the same beer. Got to do it. Also, it's definitely not the first beer to say something close to Loosey Goosey. We've
I
definitely
have
had
a can
another
that
one
says
similar, but I don't
Juicy
think it was this
Lucy.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've already forgotten where Indie is. Yeah, so they're in Windsor.
Okay.
Indie Rabble.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
4% American Pale Ale. And that's all they say. Just an APA 4%. It's got water, barley, wheat, and hops. Yeah. I just thought, hey, one of those at the bottle shop, and like, yep, gonna get that one for these very sort of non-beer snob trivial reasons.
Yeah.
I think they're
Friendship
on
and
like
games.
there's like a Windsor
Also, I like
beer
trying new
mile.
places. Sorry?
There's like a Windsor beer mile. I think they
Is there?
might be. Yeah, I think it's like 3 breweries just under like some train tracks or something like that.
Not really on a
You call it
mile.
a
They're actually
mile, yeah.
quite close to each other.
Sounds more like a
Yeah.
hooch mile.
Mm.
Three breweries and under train track. But yeah, I just seemed
Yeah, nice.
like
Nice.
a good fun start.
I am going to finish off. It's the last bit in my Imperial Stout stash. Saved one more for miserable weather and recording with. This is a Tempest and Emperor's collaboration called Let the Date Flow Through You. It's an 11.8% bourbon-aged Imperial Stout with Zardi date syrup. And there's a little bit of flavour text. The dark beer overlords have spoken, and the collaboration between Tempest and Emperors is finally upon us. More than a stout, this is a beer from another galaxy, aggressively loaded with chocolate and roasted malts. The base stout spent the best part of a year in bluegrass bourbon barrels, where the oak, vanilla, and bourbon warmth perfectly balanced the roast bitterness and residual sweetness of the stout. As if it wasn't indulgent and complex enough, we rounded things off with a good amount of sticky Zardi date syrup. So yes, it's the last big boy of my stash from the winter break. But we'll roll back round. Lucy, we'll come to you. Back for Nirvana.
Yeah, it certainly looks the part. Nice, probably 2-finger, very like foamy white head. Yeah, it's I'd say it's not quite clear, just it's a little bit of haze to it. But yeah, nice light straw colour. Maybe a bit deeper than straw, straw and gold. Smells great. Smells a bit nutty. Getting some of that banana and that clove, those spices. Yeah, it smells great.
Nice. I think it's always good because a lot of alcohol-free beers just don't have that nose to them. They're always like super light, aren't they? Can be.
It's nice. Yeah, getting those spices, the banana, the clove, getting a bit of sweetness. It's not as crisp as it looks. It's a bit more smooth on the palate at the end. I think, some of the it's like fluffy white cloud the head practically now. I think that's contributing to the smoothness as well. But it's nice. It's nice and light. I think we agreed that what makes sense as like a alcohol-free beer is more on the lager side, where you're expecting that lightness, rather than those more tropical fruity flavors. This has that kind of like undeniable, like kind of weird sweetness that that alcohol-free beers tend to have. But I think with the spices thrown into it, as well as a little bit of that nuttiness, it dulls it a bit. And I think just the style, you expect like a slight sweetness on a Hefeweizen as well. I think it works, but it's nice.
Nice, good.
Yeah, really nice texture to it. You're getting that like kind of fluffy white head, but it's a very clean beer, whilst also being like very smooth as well. That's really nice.
Good.
Quite impressed.
Ooh, don't think I've had anything from Nirvana before.
Yeah. I don't know if that sweetness is going to start to get a bit cloying, because it's a 500ml bottle, I think. but I'll see. Maybe I'll just sip it slowly, see how it goes. Yeah,
Because Nirvana are all alcohol free, I think, aren't they?
I have no idea.
But, that rings a bell, but
yes, their website said the UK's first dedicated alcohol free brewery.
Okay. Yeah, I'd definitely try another one from them. But yeah, these are like very refreshing. To have lasted a year as well. Still having that, good amount of carbonation to produce that kind of head. Maybe if it was a bit fresher, it would have a bit more of that crispness that you'd expect from a Hefeweizen. But yeah, it's good. No complaints.
Nice, good. Just on their site, interestingly, they do a porter 0.5%, a nitro stout 0.5%, and a chocolate milk stout at 0.5% as well. So venturing into those bigger, deeper kind of beers as well, and bringing those as alcohol-free ones, which I know we always steer very clear from. Usually, it would be interesting to see what they taste like after I've had a winter of imperial stouts. Trying some alcohol-free, 0.5% sort of stouts and porters would be interesting to see what those differences are.
That's where I am at now, because I was just like, Christmas, very indulgent. Time to, I don't really celebrate New Year's, so I was well in the no alcohol stage by then, so it's just continued into this year.
Yeah. Aadil, we'll come to you then for the Loosey Goosey.
Yeah. I will say that because I didn't go away for the holidays, both my Christmas and New Year's were very alcohol-free. Although I was a bit ill, and so I was ill, and so didn't end up doing the things that prevented me from seeing my family.
Sure.
But I say that because I think I drank very little in December past the 15th or the 9th, or when the last time I went for drinks with friends after work. So this is nice. Also, I've hit January and dry January very hard because I was at the Hop Knocker and I had a Colonel American Pale Ale 4%, very good, and then I had he's doing a like for cost keg, so nice keg, but like not making a single cent on it. And I can't remember what it was, but it was like it was very wild. Oh, I didn't bring my phone because I took a picture. It was and then the last beer I had was the Siren, absolutely ridiculous barley wine that they released, limited edition, and I'm gonna just I took a picture of his phone, the OG screenshot, because it's a blend that includes what's it? Each year's vintage unique. It's the Siren yearly blend, so it's got 23% rum, 12% tequila, 10% rye whiskey, bourbon, red wine, Banyuls, port, cognac, and then fresh, vegan friendly, like aged their barley wines in a bunch of different barrels, and then like put them all together, and it was fucking gorgeous. And as soon as he said tequila, there's this one note on the taste curve where like, that's a tequila, and every sip I had, it was there. Most of the other tastes were like blended in, like oh, that's where the usual, like, oh, that's where the rye's doing his thing. But like as soon as he said tequila, I'm like, oh, that's what that note is. And it was like so apparent, but also it wasn't it's not like it was like, oh god, tequila. It was just like, there's this note, and it doesn't last that long, it's very short, and it's doing really good work, but like, holy shit. So I would recommend the yearly Siren special, which I can't remember.
I had that. I can't remember if I've had a bottle either this year or last year, but I definitely had a bottle knocking around for a bit.
They do the yearly thing, which is why I'm annoyed that I can't remember what the label is.
It's typical like Siren. I think mine was like cream colored almost. The bottle.
This was quite dark actually, which I shouldn't be that surprising given that given the nature of the blends that were all put together.
Oh, I meant not. I didn't mean the liquid itself. I meant like the
the
wrapping around the bottle. Yeah.
Fair, yeah. I just these are on keg, so
Cream and gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on keg.
oh yeah,
Wow.
this is why I was like, well, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
I just stupidly started with the kernel and then had to have the like
Just like roll up.
the like break even keg
Mhm.
because, well, it's just, a deal. Yeah, sorry, the break even was the it was the Duchess de Bourgogne Flemish sour.
Nice.
Fucking great. What a great beer. Yeah, sorry. I was like, I've had this before. Yeah. So yeah, going from the Colonel to the Duchess to the Siren, it was just great. Having said that, let's see how
How's this
brewery
one?
I've never had before, and an APA, standard thing. You go for the American Pale Ale, but in a very British way, to to a sour, a Flemish sour, to a very strong blended barley wine, and then back to the APA. That's what normal people do. It poured with as much head as you can see left in the glass, so like a finger, maybe just a bit more. Slightly hazy. It's got a lovely there's a bit of lavender, but it's got a lovely citrusy, sweet, slightly tart note. Yeah, so I'd say like bit of sugar, sprinkle on lemon, and then this like floral backbone. Really interesting for an APA having a strong floral note like that. I will say, given that I've had such a night of beer, this is really good. It's hop forward, but not in a like more than APA way. Like slightly drying. I'm getting actually more than slightly. I'm getting citrus, a bit of pine. The floral notes are just on the nose, but it's just strong enough or distinct enough to be like, oh, this is a strong APA, but it's not like in your face. It's not doing boisterous stuff. But given that I've had a couple beers tonight of a boisterous nature, or at least an imposing nature, it's actually kind of one of like the best type of lighter beer style to have after you've sort of curved up in the like strength of taste type of beers, because it's really, like I said, it's quite bitter. It's got I think the dryingness might actually, if I was my first beer of the night, I might be put off by it, because I've had a couple beers that actually fits really well. Because it just makes sure that it can stay its own welcome, even if you've had a couple beers, you've had a couple of stronger things, your palate's a bit impacted, because that drying out is helping sort of make sure this taste sticks around. So I'm actually curious if one started with the Loosey Goosey, if they'd be as enamored as I am with it, but actually having it now, it's kind of like a good, really, it's got enough taste on its own while still tasting like an APA, that it's allowing me to like. This was my one worry about picking this beer, was like, well, I've kind of had some bigger beers, but it's been 45 minutes, an hour, should probably be fine, but often your palate just hasn't quite recovered, and this is doing enough work that is doing the work to make sure if I'm changing gears, it's fine. More than fine.
Good.
Yeah. And I think the light lemony citrus is only getting bigger the more sips I've had, which is a good sign, because it means as I'm acclimatizing, more tastes are coming through. And it's not like, I think I've used the like lemony, cleaner lemony note before. This is definitely feels like much more like not too tart, but like lemon. No, not faux lemon, but lemon. Amidst this like drying out bittering. Typical APA sort of note. It's just done. I'm trying to. It's not boisterous, but it's definitely not reserved. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's doing the APA thing. It's not trying to hide it. It's doing it in the face of a compromised palate, if you will. But it's still not like pushing over into. It's kind of an APA. It's just doing the thing really well and unabashedly, we'll say.
Brilliant. Good.
Yep.
Nice to have all of that flavour coming through with that slightly altered palate, perhaps. I've unusual for me. I've had nothing this evening so far. So this is my first sup. And it's a lovely nose. You can obviously it's a stout. It's an imperial stout. It's going to be that colour, isn't it? Almost no head at all on there, but very, very malty on the nose, like a little sweet. Maybe a little more, and I think it's maybe the dates. You're getting that kind of date, that little bit of sweetness, a bit more of a sort of a raisin kind of note that it gives it, and maybe combined with the malts makes it feel a bit more cakey than it may be when sort of supped. But at least that's kind of what's coming through on the nose, which is it's very nice, but it's quite small. It's not a big nose at all. Quite subdued. That's a thick old beer. That's lovely. It's nice and viscous. It's a little bit oily. It's thick. Really good body to it. And actually the flavour is really, really nice. I had a couple of more whiskey barrel-aged beers, and they were not a hit and miss, but they were really strong in a couple of not great sort of points when sort of first sipping. The sweetness in this is just really, really good, and instantly kind of sits against those deeper notes as well. So I'm not getting that kind of, as I was getting, the malts aren't coming through as much in the flavour. You're instantly hit with that like big date sweetness. There's a lot in there. But you're getting those other hints. You're getting a little sort of oaky, kind of woody, those sort of tannins that are coming through in there with that hit of vanilla sort of towards the end as well. So it's a little bit kind of almost like I've shoved a date in my mouth and then been able to sort of drink a beer around it almost, which is more on that sort of more bourbon sort of barrel-aged stout sort of side of things. So the dates, I think, as an inclusion, and it was date syrup rather than dates. It's big, it's strong, it is the main sort of flavour in this, but it's very, very nice, and it's not as sort of soured as I thought it kind of might be. It's maintained like a lovely sticky sweetness to it. So yeah, this is very nice, and very dangerous because that 11.8 is not really coming through. There's a touch of burn right at the back, like tiny amount. But I'm gonna not sip this quickly. I could, because you cannot tell at all, but I'm gonna take this nice and slow this evening, I think.
Probably for the best.
And it's only a little can. It's only a 330 ml. So good for my health, at least. Start off the year well, thinking about health. But we'll drink these beers and let's talk about some video games. Before we launch into any sort of topics or talking points, did anyone play anything over the holidays? Anyone get their teeth into anything? And Aadil, did you get any more sort of Baldur's Gate 3 in?
No, like I said, I was ill, and I just the classic and like thing I should work on with my therapist of like I wanted to do some productive things. I'm stuck in bed. Instead of being like, that means I should rest, I get to pick what I can do and rest. It was like, I feel guilty for doing the things I want to do rest wise, so I will lose hours of my life to YouTube. And to be fair, no, I started reading again.
Nice.
So that was like properly. That was my big. Nope, you're doing a thing, and it's got a like sad societal. Well, reading's better than video games tint to it. I know, because I was like allowing myself to rest but enjoy thing that I haven't done in a while, but it was like a good type of thing. Again, for those who are maybe new, this isn't me saying this is a good thought process. This is me saying it's actually an improvement, because normally what happens is I don't let myself do anything I want to do, and then end up losing time to YouTube or whatever, or just zoning out thanks to neurodivergence, instead of just being like, the best thing for my rest would be this thing I've wanted to do for a while and this
Mm.
hobby I like. But also, my friend who was going to help me. So the whole point of me not going away for Christmas was supposed to be finally installing the floors, right?
Mhm.
And obviously, I knew over Christmas that wasn't going to be possible because of my friend who has all the tools and was going to help me do this because he's done it before. He was going to be away for Christmas, but I was like, I'll do all the prep work. But then I fell ill, so I couldn't
Sure.
do the prep work. And then his dad, and turns out, needed heart surgery, so he's staying in the States.
Right.
Surgery went well today, so that's really good news. But obviously, I'm not installing floors in January because
Mhm.
he's staying in January.
Mhm.
Again, this is not like a complaint, just to be clear, right? I'm just right. And I really hate my brain because it's like, oh shit, well, what am I gonna do? I need to move soon. Oh, let's just check how much cheap carpet is because I don't even need to install it well. I just need to be able to move in. And it's like, oh, 120 quid will get me 4 by 10 meters of carpet.
Okay.
It's a 69 square meter house. I'm not planning on doing the floors in the main room anyway. I can do a bad job and then move some of that stuff downstairs while I'm living there to then make the like if I can there's like a multi-stage process where I reuse carpets and put floors upstairs and then make the main room livable
Yep.
and then put floors there, or I could do all the floors at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Buy on eBay immediate, like neurodivergent brain's like, yep, that's the plan, that makes sense, cool. ADHD's like, yeah, impulsive. And then both of them were like, you could have done this last June, you motherfucker. You could have been living there this whole time. Why didn't you think of this 8 months ago when you didn't pay double rent, double council tax, etc.? And I was like, and this is the thing I'll report to my therapist. I'm like, you had a plan, it slowly degraded. You made up a plan. Stop moving the bar. You figured it out. It's okay that you didn't think of this in June.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
Yep.
So that's the game I played. I played the eBay game of where can I buy the most sus carpet that I still think will get delivered.
Fair. Good.
And I think I
good.
won.
Absolutely. Sounds like at least it's progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good.
So
Lucy.
tomorrow, I plan on packing carpet to the vague dimensions of the upstairs
Nice.
rooms.
Yeah.
So I can just put boxes in them and move.
Sounds good. Good. Lucy.
It's real life home renovation simulator, whatever that.
Yes.
Fucking
Yeah.
House
House flipper.
Thank you.
Yeah.
House flipper. Yeah. I know video games.
Good. Right. Again, Lucy. How about you? Have you played anything over the holiday?
I've been picking up a game called Keep Driving on the Steam Deck.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, I did too, and then I picked it up last year and didn't play it. So trying to actually play games this year.
Novel.
Yeah, it's fun. It is novel. It's fun. It's a pixel art. I don't know. We're still using the term CARPG.
Still, I don't think I've ever used that term.
It wasn't the crew a CARPG.
Probably.
Isn't it just modern Oregon Trail?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's how I've always
that's
thought.
actually a great way of describing it. Yeah.
That's why I was interested, because it was like, oh, with obviously like more developed like forking mechanics and stuff.
No
right?
dysentery.
Not that I found.
Okay.
Your character can get
cops.
multiple statuses, like you can be tired or hungry or starving or have a headache. But
and you manage gap fuel a lot more, right?
Yeah, it's you're basically taking your first road trip. I think it's set in like somewhere in Scandinavia, maybe Finland or something like that. But yeah, it's basically just the side-on view of your car that you're driving in. It's really pretty pixel art. You got like the backdrop of like mountains and just cities, towns, and all this and all that. Like a lot of rural places in between major cities. Yeah, you're basically managing and juggling different meters. So you've got like your energy meter. If that runs out, like you're too tired, you can't drive. You've got your gas, you've got your the durability of your car. I think those are the main ones. And yeah, it's sort of like a card game, like slightly, where it's like each time that you're basically planning a road trip, and
Mm.
like there's a festival so many days away, and it's like, okay, get across the map to reach the festival. There's many different points that you can go to. You can even backtrack. It's like uh, it's like open roads, world is your oyster. You go where you want to, and like pick up hitchhikers, and maybe that will determine where you go next. Or there's like different jobs that you can do on the road, or there's different events that you might come across. So it's basically, yes, you can go from point A to point B, but really you're zigzagging all over the place because you're like, oh, that would be interesting. Oh, I want to
Mm.
drop that hitchhiker here. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Nice.
Um, and in between, putting on the map, it's like, okay, I want to go to this next town here, or this next city, or this next gas station, or whatever. You basically get into these quote unquote combat events where it's okay, there's like a speeding driver behind you, or there's potholes, or there's
Mm.
sheep in the road. There's quite a few different ones, and it's just like, yeah, these are all the things that you would actually encounter on the road. And it turns into like a card battler where you and your hitchhikers, you eventually like skill up and unlock new abilities, and on the while the enemy, which could be like a pothole or something, they attack with like all these different symbols. So it's like, okay, here's one that will take your money if it hits. Here's one that will take your energy away from you if it hits. Here's one that will take your gas or knock down the durability of your car. And
Mm.
basically you have to it's like matching the symbol. So one of your attacks might be like, oh, this will get rid of two durability
Yeah.
symbols, or this one will get rid of a gas symbol and a energy symbol, and it's just basically matching.
Yeah.
There's not really much depth to this kind of combat thing, and it's like, I don't mind it. It's like, you know means to an end, but there is like there is tension to it, because sometimes you are just like, if you don't have the items, or um if you don't have the attacks, because some of the attacks use up energy, and if it's like, oh, I don't have the enough energy to use this attack, or like my hitchhikers are having an argument in the back of the car, so they've frozen out of a move and stuff like that. It
Mhm.
does have that tension where it's like, oh, this could go absolutely wrong and just absolutely obliterate me. And if you don't have like the necessary items in your car at the time, um, it would be like game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Except you can call your parents. If say like you run out of gas and you don't have a
Brilliant.
jerry can, or if if you don't have a repair kit and your car's absolutely trashed, if you don't have like a coffee to boost your
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
if you don't have any money to call like tow services, you can call your parents. And it is like a bit of a you know get out clause, because at the
Hmm.
start of the game it's basically saying, oh, what's your relationship with your parents like out of 5? And I was like, I don't actually know what this mechanic is, but I'll just put 4 out of 5, which
Mm.
means 4 out of 5 chance if I call my parents, they're gonna bail me out.
Yeah. A bit like
And
a
it's like,
difficulty sort of setting almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
That's
like,
so
I like
cute,
that. It is.
especially because
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where you could not look it up and go in blind, and your punishment is, well, but like once you learn that,
Mhm.
subsequent runs, are fine.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
that, I like the light obfuscation for flavor, and then as soon as you realize what it's doing, you can
Yeah.
choose to like Ben said, lower or raise the difficulty on
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. And
But
it
it's
is
like
very
so flavorfully
thematic.
built in, and they're not like, it's not like with a tooltip, which AAA developers would feel like they'd have to tell you because
Mhm.
they assume that you're also on your phone scrolling TikTok.
Yeah.
So some character has to be, if your relationship with your parents is pretty good, I bet the player bail you out. And then a little tooltip saying, bet means it will happen in the game mechanics. Right? Like,
Yeah, well, as you say, it's very thematic. It's very, it goes well with the vibe of the game because it's like you're like meant to be like, your first road trip. So I imagine a teenager set in the early 2000s, and it's like, yeah, like that's what parents are for. They bail you out, don't you? Especially at that age. But yeah, everything about the game, it's like there are bits of jank when like the menuing is a bit clunky and stuff like that. But it's just I feel that just adds to the charm of the game. It's very much you're on your first road trip. You're basically just going by you're just hanging on really. You're low on money. You're low on gas. You're low on your car's like an absolute lemon, and it's just about to break down. And it's like, yeah, it's just. I think it just works well with the theme of the game, and it's like you pick up CDs and then you load up a CD playlist in your car, and it's just
so
it's
it is just millennial road trip, because I was going to say, I
yeah.
don't know if, do you guys remember your first road trip? Like solo or like non-parental?
I
No.
don't know
I know
because
this is
I don't
very
know if
different from where we grew up. Like I have
yeah,
very different experience with road trips than you guys probably.
because like I've driven to various places in the country. I
Yeah,
don't know if
but like
which is very much smaller than
I was
Canada.
like, but like
Yeah.
in the UK,
Yeah.
road tripping ain't the same type of thing.
No, it isn't because you get there on the same day
And
wherever
you're
you're
pissed
going.
about it because it took most of the day.
Yeah. There is no stay over here, stay over
No.
there. No, it's
Yeah.
usually like
Not unless you're
because
going like properly. If you were going from the south somewhere up to Edinburgh or
So can
further
I tell you the
north than
first
that,
time I
you
road tripped in the
may
UK?
stay over.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first time I road tripped in the UK was like my second month having moved here from Amsterdam with my partner at the time, visiting from Canada, both Canadian road trippers, and we wanted to go to Scotland. And so, to maximize time, because of like department talks at Bristol philosophy department at the time, used to be from 5 to 6 p.m. on a Friday. So I went to the talk. At 6, I hoofed it to my flat where the rental car was waiting, and we drove to Edinburgh.
Just a straight shot.
Straight shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
you're built different.
and explaining to people why I couldn't go to the pub because I was going to Edinburgh that night. Most people are like, oh yeah, so like, if it was just that, they'd be fine. But then they're like, oh yeah, where are you staying? I'm like, Edinburgh, and they're, what do you mean? It was also one of the like first times I'd driven on that side of the road. It was there was some planning that didn't happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Good.
No, like yeah, that's the thing.
27, it was fine.
Maybe I should go on more road trip. I've always wanted to do it across
If I
like
had a car
Europe.
here, I think I would see a lot more. It's like the one thing, like
Yeah.
I hate driving. I
I
don't
love
want to commute, but I
I
think I
love
would see
driving.
more of my people in this country because I don't. I have acclimatized to travel seeming hard, so don't do it. British mentality. But I know if I was behind the wheel, I wouldn't. Like, so weirdly for buses and trains, I'm very British. Like, an hour is so long. But like behind the wheel, I will drive 8 hours straight. That means nothing, and that's this fucking island, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Although it helps that my first real job was the climbing instructor for the portable rock climbing wall company, right? So like I just drove around
following
Western
around.
Canada with a in a truck with a 35-foot trailer that was 5,000 pounds of climbing wall.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh yeah, not only did I North American road trip with my family, but my first job was like a lot of the job was like the being paid
to
be a trucker.
Yeah, basically 10 Canadian dollars per 100 kilometers. So $10 an hour.
Wow.
at regular highway speeds if you were going slightly under the speed limit, which you should be doing if you have this big trailer, plus a per diem. And if we were going long, right? Like, but like I just drove. Like a lot of what made me like my first job was very good to pay for university, etc. Because they paid for the hotels, they paid a per diem, and there was just so much driving at that rate, which is reasonable, right?
Yeah, that's good money.
And then
well,
you got like
Canadian
$8 an hour
still.
for the actual job. Like you got to pay more for the driving, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And if you drove, if the weather was good and the highway was less full of people, you get paid by kilometer, so you could cut some time. But also because they weren't insane, you didn't really need speed, because it's like, well, we've budgeted like, oh, this is this long of a drive. Getting to the gig early by speeding doesn't make sense.
Sure,
All it does is make the driving worse, and I think that really helped me, given that I was a new driver and I got to drive because of insurance reasons for the first couple of years, and like ADHD aggressive young male driving, and it was like, oh right, doing the speed calculations, and like that's actually what made me stop speeding, was like, oh, the realization of how much attention you have to pay when you're going that much faster than everyone else, and how much time it actually could potentially save.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like 2 minutes. I don't care.
I save minutes.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
Except when you do a road trip from Calgary to Indio, California, to make it to Coachella in 2 days by stopping in Salt Lake City. Then going every 10 miles an hour more over gains you an hour. Like when you're driving for 12 hours in a day and you go 20 miles an hour faster, you just
adds up,
consistently. That's good maths.
Yeah. But people in Birmingham, if you tell them, it doesn't really add up over a mile to go, they won't believe you, and they'll think, I'll still drive up your ass on an icy cold day.
Have you got snow up there at the moment, Lucy?
Yeah. That's why.
And everyone's probably still doing exactly the same speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with bald tires and no infrastructure.
No different tires. No snow tires up here.
No.
But it's snowing. But I just think the UK's probably not as scenic. There are scenic places, but like if you are driving distance, you're taking the motorway. A roads are okay, but then like A roads, it's like, okay, I'm somewhere else now, and now I have to go
our A roads
20 miles an hour. Right through this little town that only has one way out,
Lucy,
or we put like a 40 mile an hour speed limit on a country lane, which is insane to me and disgraceful, because I want to tear around there like a rally car, and they're like 40 miles an hour in a speed camera.
But Lucy, Calgary,
driving is not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah, nothing is. We're old. That's just what happens.
No, but it's generally gotten worse.
But like Saskatoon to Calgary is the in recent years the like long trip I've done the most, because my folks live in Calgary, and my eldest sister and my niece and nephew are in Saskatoon. It's a somewhere between 6.5, 8, 9 hour drive that you do in a one shot in back home. It is also, Calgary's on the border of the like foothills, which are on the bottom of the mountains and the prairies, and Saskatoon's in the middle of the prairies. It is literally a set of straight roads, because there's no fucking civilization when they made them, of flat ground and wheat fields. You have no idea how
isolated. There's a feeling of like isolation in a
No, because there's actually like quite a bit of traffic there. It's just boring.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Flat.
I don't want to see.
And there's not even the road doesn't like. There's no topography. There's nothing to look at. There's still people in your way, so you can't just bomb it. And you have to pay some attention.
At least we have some hills here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, driving the UK has never felt as boring as the 6th hour of the Calgary Saskatoon. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. Nice. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I've talked enough.
Yeah.
I know you're dying, Lucy. Just being a dick.
No. Keep Driving is pretty good. I've been picking up now and then.
Nice.
Is it a wreck? Because I was thinking of picking it up.
Yeah. It's one of those that you can spend as much time as you want in. Like, I don't know what happens if you don't get to the festival. Maybe there are some other endpoints that you can go to, but it's like, yeah, the festival is like, it's there, it's on the horizon, but it's not in my, immediate periphery.
Sure.
It's not like the goal, the tentative goal of the game is either the character or yours, like be all and end all. It sounds like even the like diegetic reasoning is I want to get into the festival, but I'm like obviously if you're picking up hitchhikers or whatever, you're like kind of happy just being on a road trip. That's what it sounds like, which is very much the North American. I got a driver's license and a beat up car, and my parents haven't said the fuck you're doing that. Yeah. And you're just going to do as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think, it would be nicer if there was a bit more, like, character development of who you are as a character, and, like, the hitchhikers. There's not really much dialogue. So a lot of it is just, like, that management of your car and, feeling that tension of, like, things can go wrong at any time. That's really what's, boosted me along the way, rather than, any story or narrative kind of arc.
So you said you were a 4 to 5 with your parents. How many times have you called your parents in the game?
Twice.
Okay. Yeah. Part of me wants to be like, is there a secret mechanic where your parents get fed up?
Probably is, and it's probably game over. They're probably just hang up on you.
This is how my probably toxic brain works. It's like, I'm just gonna let things go and ask my parents just to see. Yep, nope, they're still doing it. Yep, and then it's like, and then there's this weird meta-analysis of, look how supportive these parents are. Yes,
maybe you shouldn't get this game. Maybe you shouldn't get this game. Otherwise, that's something else to bring up to your therapist in your next session. I played this car game and it made me feel things. It's a CARPG.
Well,
it made me feel things like if I broke down in a weird town on a road trip I did on a whim, I fucking wouldn't call my parents.
I absolutely would.
No.
You'd call my parents?
Yes.
They'd
I'd be like, wire me
my
some
friends,
money.
And they obviously would help me, but like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. This is turning into like.
To be honest, I wouldn't call them because they would have no idea how to wire money to me. I'd call someone who could actually.
Yeah, someone who can actually do something. Yes.
Yeah. Neither of them are my emergency contacts. Because they're useless. So maybe it shouldn't be 4 out of 5. Maybe it should have been 2.
I like how all of these themes are leading into a game that I have played like 30 minutes of. So I've bounced around a bunch of games, right?
Yep.
But I started And Roger. And
okay, are you a broken man already?
No, I've only played like 30 minutes of it. So I'm only in like chapter 2.
I missed what it was called.
And Roger.
Okay, this rings a vague bell, but if you would.
Sure. So it's a visual novel. It's an interactive sort of visual novel, and you are playing. It's a very similar game to Florence, in that you're doing a lot of kind of on-screen actions to sort of move through the story or to perform actions kind of within the game. And it opens up with the character ultimately waking up and thinking, I'll go and see my dad, and then going, oh, this is not my dad. Mm-hmm. And then the game unfolding into her struggling to do a lot of things and lots of scene shifts, lots of changes, a lot of sort of frantic kind of motion and stuff. And it's really interesting so far because I've got no fucking idea what's going on. Right, the game doesn't start saying like you're this character and this is what your situation is. The game is just like, cool, here you are, crack on, and it's slowly opening up, thinking, okay, so first chapter makes you feel like she feels like she's been kidnapped. And you're like, okay, so has she been kidnapped, or is there some kind of different state that she is in which is making her feel like this? And I haven't uncovered any of that yet, but it moves on quite quickly. You move through her life, so the second chapter is sort of 10 years or a few years sort of past, and the potential of sort of like the dating scene and things like that. And the puzzles they work quite well, I think, for some of it and how they sort of interact. So I think there's 5 chapters. It'll be interesting to see how it sort of progresses and hopefully doesn't go stale at all in terms of the actual mechanics of the game, but I think the story is definitely what's kind of driving me through this. And I'm playing on the Steam Deck, which I haven't picked up for about a week, something like that at the moment. So, and Roger is kind of ready for me to go back to. So I'll come back and talk about that a little bit more in the coming weeks, probably. But I've also bounced on a couple of other games which I think both of you would enjoy. The first being a game called Clover Pit, which came out at the end of last year, which is a... What do you call it?
Gambling Balatro like.
Yeah, it's a Balatro like.
Yeah,
It's
on my
roulette.
wish list.
Yeah.
It's Balat is what I tried to call it.
Balat yes.
It just doesn't.
Yes.
You want it to flow better than it does off the tongue.
Yeah, and it works well. I think it's got a good loop to it. It's it's more on the what did I play last year? Buckshot roulette, which was kind of that face to face sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It's gone from my mind. But basically, the aesthetic is really kind of like grimy. Everything around you is quite sort of lots of browns and greys and those kinds of things. And then suddenly you're presented with this incredibly colourful like roulette machine, and it's probably got some ideas around and themes around addiction and all of these kinds of things. They haven't presented themselves to me yet, so I haven't felt any of those. Again, it's another game I've only spent about 30 minutes and done a couple of runs in, but it's very, very quick to be like, cool, play, bam, 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 bam. I've got the money, great, put it in the machine, cool. Right, now next round, play, bang, bam, 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 pull the lever, like Konami, pull the lever constantly.
It does the like replication of the bad thing well, but you're not sure if it comments on the bad thing. Exactly.
Yes, not yet. And there's between rounds that a phone rings, and there's a little bit of exposition, but ultimately the phone is just another mechanic for giving you some kind of slight reward or upgrade, kind of between the rounds and stuff. But it's talking to me that little bit kind of through it. So I imagine it opens up that bit more, and it's going to be maybe more buckshot roulette in terms of sort of a mild kind of story, rather than something like Inscription, which presents itself similarly, at least to start with, but obviously opens up massively. I don't imagine this is going to open up in that kind of way, and it's much more like Buckshot Roulette or Balatro in that, cool, this is the game. It's in front of you. You're now looking for, like Balatro, multipliers. You're picking up trinkets, and the combination of those trinkets will give you better multipliers, and you need to constantly chase that high score to kind of move through it. So I will play some more of that. But the thing I kind of wanted to talk about, not at length, but just the experience that I have had. I got headphones for Christmas, which some Astros, which have the 3D audio.
Oh yeah!
What a fucking difference that has made to Battlefield! Like, absolutely insane. I have been just so much better playing with those headphones because of that 3D audio. You just hear so much.
You're
and
a
I'm
pro
like, cool,
gamer now.
there's someone. I was like, I played a game and I got 96 kills. And I'm like, cool, I never need to play again. This is the best. This is the best I will ever do. I know I never need to sort of. Some of that was in a tank.
Sounds like a lot, and I know Battlefield levels last for like 6 hours, so but it still seems like a lot. You know?
Well, what's your KD though?
I think at the moment about 1.8, something like that. Maybe
that's really good.
But it is such a, because you're like, oh, there's someone approaching from over here, and it's not just that it's not just someone's here, someone's coming towards me.
Yeah,
shit, I know they're coming around that. They're coming around the corner. I will wait. Yep, great. There they are, dead. Cool. Now I can concentrate on the people I was moving towards, or was sort of already sort of shooting and stuff, and move through the map kind of where I was going. And how did I ever play video games without these headphones?
When I lived in in my Calgary house, I turned the basement into a home theater. So I had
Mm.
5.1 surround sound. This is back when that was, well, no, people had 7s, but like, and a 103-inch projector in like a low ceiling basement. And my subwoofer was like very dumb. It was very still in my 20s. If I'm gonna buy a subwoofer, I'm gonna buy a fucking subwoofer. But playing games in that basement on like the PS3 or a crappy home theater PC, I was much better for 2 reasons. One was it was a 103-inch projection. And it was like less than 8 feet away. I could see shit that like what I could just see shit at 1080p. It's like, oh well, there's a guy there. Look at that guy. He's this big. Right? But the other thing was honestly like the sound staging, right? You just hear like if that speaker's going off, there's some motherfucker behind me.
Yeah.
Right? And well done 3D sound is in 2-channel is very much the same, right? It's actually kind of wild when you think about the fact that like it's 2 channels, but like just in 2 channels you can get depth. And then like this is why some really well mastered records on good headphones or even good 2-channel like speakers. It's like as soon as I heard really good audio on 2 speakers on a really well mastered source, good speakers, I'm like, I don't understand why we need surround sound, because in this record I can tell the drummer's here and the bassist is 2 steps, 1 step there. Like you get like our ears are fantastic for like putting those out. But weirdly, like the way speakers work in sound production, you have depth as well as breadth with just 2
Absolutely.
speakers.
Yeah.
Just because of the way ears work. But when you add things that make that even more apparent because it's literally coming from behind you, or you have an algorithm that will accentuate that sound or exploit that soundstage more than the game itself might be doing, because a lot of the 3D sound is like an extra layer of exaggerating those differences, so you will more pinpointly hear that guy behind you than like a raw 2.0 signal is. It's wild. I am 100% not surprised, but I'm glad that you did well. This isn't sorry, I'm not surprised that with this type of addition to your arsenal, you did much better.
Yes,
because it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
I used to have
this is just this is just giving you another layer to be accurate and pay attention to.
Yeah, I used to
But also,
own
most people
some
just use.
Astros.
Sorry.
I used to own some Astros, but that was like a decade ago.
Sure. I
think I
misspoke.
played Alien Isolation with them, and I was like, no.
Oh fuck!
I can't.
That's too much. You don't want that. That's a game you want. Like you want the cheapest shitty headphones. So it's like there's an alien somewhere. No, that guy's behind me. I'm about to fucking. Yep, I'm dead. I didn't need that 2 seconds.
I didn't
like
get far in
knowing
that
I
game.
was definitely dead. I'd rather be surprised by it because alien somewhere. Now I'm dead. I didn't have to know who was behind me.
Yeah, I didn't go back to that. Too scary.
I misspoke slightly. It's not Astros. It's Arctis. It's the Steel series.
Arctis
ones that I got. Yeah, I don't know why Astros was in my head, but there we go.
Because you're a PlayStation fanboy and you're
maybe that's why the play. That's it. I've been in the playroom for.
Oh, is this this is Steel series?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was on Battlefield, so PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So plugged in through the pad. I haven't brought them upstairs and tried them on the PC or anything yet. I haven't sort of had anything.
There's no point. Mark Cerny hasn't mapped your ears yet. Until he mapped your ears, you're not getting the true experience.
Exactly. I have to get those wireless PlayStation speakers just for my PC for no reason whatsoever.
I bought headphones over the holidays as well.
Yeah, nice.
I bought quality headphones, which I haven't had in a long time, and a DAP.
Oh.
A digital audio player.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that, like, between my medication being not great and actually making me more susceptible to weird dopamine sinks, such that 2025 I used more social media than any other year. that was a very sobering realization. I was like, yeah, I don't think these meds are. I feel more. I feel more ADHD than I have ever. Oh, that's not a good sign of someone who's using 2 medications for his ADHD. But my primary use for my phone, now that I started wearing a watch last year, that helped a lot. But the primary use is like podcasts, which often are a negative dopamine sink because my like neurodivergent brain wants to finish the thing.
Mhm.
So if I start an hour episode of a podcast and take 20 minutes to walk to work, part of me will want to go back to it, even if I manage to stop listening to it when I go in the office or whatever. But it's Spotify, it's music. I just always need stuff in my ear. I'm trying to work on how often, like, I use it as escapism versus just like essentially white noise to help like give my brain something mild to focus on so it doesn't jump away. But I don't like Spotify because of political reasons, and also
Mhm.
I have a bunch of like when I had to I used to just listen to CDs a shit ton. I used to be a big audiophile, and then when I moved back to Bristol from Halifax unexpectedly, I had to sell all my CDs, but I ripped them all at like 320 kbps MP3s instead of FLAC because I literally couldn't fit them all on the hard drives I could put in a suitcase when I was moving. But I still have those, and I was like, oh, right, I don't want to support Spotify. I'd rather put that like few quid a month into buying an album off of Bandcamp at FLAC or whatever. I also have all this music that like is I want to listen to. Weirdly, trying to move, going back on old hard drives to see if I should just throw them out. And it's like, oh, there's all that music. But a digital audio player kind of solves that problem because the 320 kbps is better than most Spotify unless I'm in a good internet connection and I'm streaming lossless, and I can start getting FLAC. But mostly, a digital audio player is, I mean, it runs Android, but you can put it in completely shut down mode, so it's got great battery life. It
Nice.
literally has digital audio converters that are better than anything else in my house. Like they're like audiophile grade. It was a couple $100. And you can put it in pass-through mode, so I can go to the office, plug it into my computer, and now my computer is going to make use of the high quality digital audio conversion. That's why I bought this one. But if I'm gonna get a nice DAP, my like crappy earbuds, which I've been annoyed at, but the problem is my crappy phone doesn't. Even if I can't plug it in, and even then it doesn't. Even if I had high quality files, this isn't a good source. But I bought a source. Then I bought good headphones. That was my Christmas present to myself, and
Nice.
it's worked. I've like full on over the ear headphones, and I went listened to like an MP3 copy of a CD I ripped 10 years ago, and I've listened to that album a bunch on this with these, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I love like this album is just really well mastered. It's Chet Baker's Chet. It's a mono. I think it's a mono. It's a rip of a mono vinyl recording, and it has or the original, but you can hear Chet on the trumpet. You can hear the like fans on the drums and where the bass is. Like it's so well mastered. You can hear where everyone else is in the in the studio. You can tell where they are standing in relation to each other.
Nice. That's
You
cool.
can hear breath and a bit of, like you could just hear all the stuff. If you even if you don't like jazz, if you've got a good source, like a good set of headphones, Chet Baker's Chet is a great like album to listen to the first couple tracks of, just to be like, what can very simple recordings do? Because you can tune into it. And I was like, oh no, I've been missing out for years. Yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to good audio. And fuck, yep, nope, this is way better. I haven't heard this album this well in so long.
That's cool.
And actually, on that entire walk to where I was going, because I was I was like visiting friends' cats while they were away. It was a 45-minute walk. Didn't check my phone once. Barely even wanted to change albums or tracks because I was just like, oh, this is really good music. And the only time I've checked my phone with this setup on me is when I've forgotten my watch and need to know the time.
Yeah, fair. Nice.
And I was like, oh, this is for my neurodivergence and my decoupling from being attached to my smartphone, a 13 quid classic Casio digital watch, a very expensive set of headphones, and a digital audio player is actually what I want, because like my primary reasons for grabbing my phone initially are, what time is it? I need to hear something. And those don't need to be attached to social media. So like it runs
absolutely.
Android in a strip, right? But I'm never going to install apps on it.
Yeah. Nice, good.
Yeah. Anyway,
Perfect. So let's maybe just move on to a final, very short topic. Aadil, you sort of already touched on this in the last episode, talking about games that maybe we're looking forward to, games that we haven't maybe got to yet. Is there anything on anyone's sort of wish list that's either coming up or came out last year that they're kind of eager, not itching, but kind of eager to play?
I don't even know what's coming out this year, and shit's gonna get
Oh,
cancelled.
I have no idea
anyway,
what's
so I
coming
don't
out
really
this year.
care.
Oh yeah, it's all going to get delayed.
Yeah. Delayed cancel.
Yeah,
slash
GTA 6.
studio
GTA 6 in what, November now? Maybe.
I don't care about.
Oh, so
I'll play it, but I don't care to know about GTA 6.
Did you guys finish 5? Because I never finished it.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't great story.
I got to a point where I was doing some bombing missions on Trevor's thread, and I was just like,
I remember nothing about that.
yeah,
No, I
and
don't
I was
really.
just like, I've never liked Trevor as a character to play. I think he's an interesting character to be in the milieu, but like when I was playing his missions, I'm like, this ain't my jam. And then I was in the middle of this mission. I bombed some like opposing drug dealers with a biplane or some bullshit. I don't remember, right? Like this was a while ago, and I was just like, it wasn't like paying it. I was fucking around and I died, and so I was like, all right, okay. And I'm like, I don't really want to redo this mission.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, this game is fine because you get 3 protagonists. You can switch through. I'm like, now I don't really want to do the other ones for the other guys who I am less. Nah. And I just stopped. And weirdly, I have often played GTA games where it's like missions aren't grabbing me. And up until 5, it was, I guess I'll fuck about for a while.
Yeah.
In that game, it was like, I don't want to do this mission. I don't want to start any new threads with the other 2 characters. And then I just put the game down. And I didn't go back, and I didn't fuck about. Which is strange, because, like, I mean, that's what the series is known for. I've played so many hours of, like, very early in plot progression GTA games. And this was, like, I'm sure it's at least, like, past halfway point or whatever. Maybe it's not. I can't remember. I played a lot of that game trying to get through and enjoying the plot for a bit. And then it was just like, something weird happened. I didn't want to be... the world didn't pull me back, which is really interesting.
I don't think it was anywhere near as good as any of the other GTA games.
It was big and like vacuous.
So
but like,
we'll see what 6 is going to be like. But
well, that's I think why all the rumors and blah blah for 6 have never really like. I just, that was a moment where it was like, GTA games, and I didn't realize at the time, but like when people were like starting to start the hype cycle for GTA 6, I wasn't ever like,
yeah.
Yes. So I was like, that's a game I'll probably end up buying and playing.
I think we're in a very different, all of us and the industry and consumers at large are in a very different position now than they were when, event game number 1, number 2 came out. That 6, I know there's a lot of analysts out there like GTA 6 is going to do absurd numbers and make billions and billions of dollars for the industry and really help to do everything. It's
just going to pay for it when,
it's just going
when
to go
AI's
to like
exactly.
It's just going to go to 3 people in the world who are building their own supercomputers in space because everyone's going to fucking die anyway. So I don't think it really matters.
For those of you who have heard about OpenAI and Elon and them talking about Dyson spheres and solving the compute problem, it's so farcical how bad they are at science, because
I don't think we have time for this tonight.
Space is really cold because you're far away from heat sources, not because it's a magic insulator. The problem of compute is you build heat, and that heat has to go somewhere. Space doesn't just... It's just like a fun... It doesn't work the way they think it is. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I'll
Don't worry
stop.
about
But
it. That's all right.
yeah.
Lucy, if there's nothing that's coming up, is there anything that from last year or previous years that you're sort of like, I missed that, maybe I'll play it?
I'd have to check my Steam Deck.
Blueprints.
There are some. I probably won't finish that at this point. I can't be bothered going back to it. No, I don't really care about games at the moment. To be honest. It's very hard to. The industry's in a terrible place, and
Yeah.
the games that I'll get to. Yeah, but
Fair.
no, I have no idea what's coming out this year.
Cool.
I'm
Well,
looking forward.
I've got and I've got three, none of which we can talk about because it's and maybe one that appears on your list, Aadil, is the first one's Can, which is coming out at the end of January, which is that like climbing simulator game, with like Jusant and all of these other things, but a little bit more realistic. I think they're sort of billing it as not sim, but at least kind of you're looking for your lines whilst you're climbing, rather than just here is climbing. You can just do this thing. You're actually doing, I think, what you would be doing if you were climbing, or at least that's what they're trying to get to.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm super interested in that game because, because to be honest, at first it was like, I never played Jusant. It's on my list of maybe I should get around to buying it on a sale or whatever. And like, man, that's like 3 or 4 life dems ago when that was like the thing of my life.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So originally I was just like, oh great, another climbing game. I liked this as a genre, and then the more I saw about it, I was like, oh, they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to put more of the like experience and technique of climbing into this game in a way that has not been in games. Like
absolutely. Yeah.
Climbing often is an endurance meter and like Breath of the Wild style, right? Like you just wobble your hands and the world will move. Turns out, no, that's not how climbing works. A lot of it is figuring out where to wobble and at what point do you go from static and slow to dynamic.
I think it's because it's from the game makers as well. Like I know we enjoyed Haven. I really liked Fury from years past now. So it's kind of one of those where like, cool, if they can infuse the tone that they get in their games with this kind of mechanic, that seems really interesting. So yeah, it's super on board with that one. Another one I'm like really looking forward to is Ontos, which is like a new sci-fi horror game from Frictional, who made Soma. I really like Soma. Soma's a great like horror walking sim.
Yeah, I
game.
forgot about Soma.
So Ontos is kind of like top of my list at the moment. But yeah,
neat.
It'd be cool. And then the other one, the last one, which I think is out in spring, is Saros, which is the Rahu Kohli led PlayStation exclusive from Housemarque. So basically like Returnal, maybe not Returnal 2, but another kind of bullet hell type action game.
Spiritual Returnal 2, but not actual.
Yeah, maybe Spiritual Returnal 2. Maybe. So yeah, that's kind of it for me. There's nothing else that sort of really jumped out. And I think I'm in the same position as you, Lucy. I'm kind of like, cool, when these games get here, they get here. Cool. All right.
Yeah. Hopefully something will surprise me along the way, but I genuinely couldn't tell you 2 games that are coming out this year. I couldn't tell you.
Well, mine are all, except for the climbing one, mine are all backwards facing, which Blueprints I still need to play. I'm a big SRPG fan, and one of the first ones I ever played was FFT. So one thing I bought, I bought a couple small games that were like a few quid, but the game I bought over the break on the Steam sale was Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilist Chronicles, because it's a remake, but also like the only way you can really get it on PC anyway. But also all the reviews are like, this is doing the thing well, and the graphics are like the thing, like are the nostalgia graphics type upgrade. Like it's really true to form to the original game. It's got some more voice acting, etc. The graphics are better, but it's fundamentally still the same game.
And I think they've got a mode in that where you can play the original graphics as well, right? But an upraised version of the original
Yeah,
sort
you
of.
can get a 16-bit
Mm.
version, or you can go back to retro. I don't know if it's true to form or like spiritually
Uh-huh.
16-bit, if you know what I mean. Um, and then there were two games that I kept hearing on um roundups or people I know really liking them, and one was the Seance of Blake Manor.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I want to get to that.
Um, yeah, I think it's good to like highlight the games that you like people gushed about
Mm.
because we
Mm.
often lose track of them on these like what are you looking forward to's. And then Look Outside was the other one.
Ooh, I don't know what that is.
Look Outside is a survival horror RPG, very simple, cutesy horror. Some 16-bit plus, I'm gonna
Mm.
say.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's set in a single apartment building. An event turns anyone who looks out the window into grotesque monsters, leaving the world in absolute chaos. Scavenge the building, seek food, supplies, weapons, while encountering strange characters. And from what I hear, it's really well made, and I really like the premise of like you're in a apartment building, you got to do survival crap, but also you don't know when someone might accidentally look out a window or whatever. Like it's a neat little premise. I can't remember. I wish I could remember. So it's been published by Devolver Digital.
Mm.
Uh, Francis Coulombe. I don't know if they've done other things. Wait, I can look that up on Steam. Came out last March, right? So like, I think it was in the deluge of like pre. No, we're actually not releasing things when we think they are because other people have announced games. It's confused us. Moment of the year.
Yeah.
Um, but I kept hearing about it throughout the year, and I don't super seek out horror games, but like the gameplay loop seems interesting, and everything I've ever heard about it is like the it's mechanically driven RPG, but like you get attached to characters, etc. It sounds like sort of that's the type of horror game I would want to play.
Nice. Yeah, that's
So,
cool. Yeah.
so I did end up picking it up in the Steam sale specifically so that I wouldn't forget. So it'd be in my library and it would be in the recents because it's a game that I heard a little bit about last March and then didn't do anything about. And then enough people in the roundups of the year were like, "That game was surprisingly really good." I was like, "Ah, it's cheap on the Steam sale. I'm gonna buy it, and then hopefully that will help me play it, um, soon."
Yeah, nice. Good. Good.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
that was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. A good place for us to finish then for this week. We'll roll back round and talk about some beers that we have drank in order. Lucy, you were first. You kicked off with the Nirvana. How is it? I've seen you sort of
Yeah,
repouring and sipping sort of throughout.
yeah, just on the last bits now. Probably the last. What's that? What line is that? Well, less than a third now. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Good start for me getting through these alcohol-free beers. They need to go down. They need to be gone. So yeah.
Mm.
It's
At
good.
least you could just drink like 10 in a day and it's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
I
it's any beer
wouldn't
though, isn't
want
it?
Make
to
you
do that.
incredibly gassy.
I can
Yeah.
already feel the sugar on my teeth.
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
just one or two.
Yeah, fair. Fair. Aadil, the Loosey Goosey.
Yes, the Loosey Goosey. I would say, I suspect this is because my palate was a bit tainted from other beers and my cheeky snack. Um, but it actually got more depth halfway through, and
Mhm.
definitely by the end, much more. I would say for an APA, it had a longer, lingering, bitter, slightly dank finish than you might think, and I
Mhm.
find that that's a positive in my book. Like it again, it's not in your face, etc. But it's just this. By the end of the beer, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a. Often APAs have like a reasonably short finish. This has got a finish. It's a couple minutes long, like to really lose. Slightly dank, definitely bitter. I want to say not piney dank. I'm trying to figure out what. It doesn't matter. It was really good, and I liked that it had this longest finish. So actually, the last like third took me a while to finish because
Okay.
once I tuned into that finish, I was just like, "Oh, that's fine. Like, I'm not too thirsty. The finish is not the same taste profile as like the initial taste, but I'm quite happy to just like, yep, there's a taste in my mouth. It's really good." And I was like, "Oh, I should drink." And actually, my last sip was a bit bigger just because I was like, "Oh, I should have a quaff before I give my opinion. Otherwise, I think I would still be nursing a few milliliters at a time, just because
Sure.
it has a very satisfying long finish, while still feeling in those, like, if you were drinking it more steadily, you would still feel like, oh, this is a good solid APA that like knows it's an APA but isn't shy about
Good, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So to round us out, the Tempest, or the Tempest and Emperor's collab. This is probably one of the better, if not the best, Imperial Stout I've had over this like 3-week period that I've been drinking them. It's just so nice. The flavor maintained throughout the whole thing. Nothing has dulled down whatsoever through it, apart from maybe that little bit of alcohol burn telling me that it was a higher percentage beer. That's gone. That's completely gone now. You know. So it's still sweet. Still a lot of date coming through. Still getting those sort of tannins, that little bit of woodiness, that little bit of vanilla in the back end of it. All very, very nice. And it's still as viscous. It's still as oily. It's still as smooth as when I first started drinking it. So this is a fantastic beer. I don't know how... I never remember the fella's name, but Emperor's sort of a one-man kind of band floating around, doing lots of collabs with people. Just has a magic touch which hits me every single time. Every Emperor's beer I have just nails it completely. Not to take anything away from Tempest at all, but yeah, Emperors are just phenomenal at stouts. And there were, I think, like 6 Emperor's collabs in the fridges when I went to the bottle shop to have a look at when I bought some beers. And this was the... did I buy any more Emperor's ones? I don't think I did, which is a shame. I might just go online now and try and find some, probably. Ready for the coming awful, cold, snowy weeks ahead, as I just want to hide and drink high percentage. Just continue just drinking high percentage stouts, basically.
Yeah, I'll be frosting.
I mean, that sounds ideal.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, I worry about lower ABV beers in the summer, maybe at some point. Who knows? If even then.
Yeah, why torture yourself at the worst point of the year? Yeah,
exactly. Maybe this is just for me, the year of the Imperial Stout. And I'll just continuously drink them all throughout. Cool. So.
Oh man.
I know. Really hot day. I'm like,
I really want you to commit to the
barley
bit
wine
just
or
so
something.
that like mid-July you're like, it's 15%. I've had a third of it in this 2.5 hour recording.
Yeah, so
it's
weighed
so
down.
Good, but so sweet and strong. I'm in a singlet. Like,
oh, it's doable.
Oh, it's
definitely doable.
It's so doable. It's just like, I think if it was 35 degrees out, you might not finish the EP in the recording, and that's fine, right? I just want to see it happen.
Yeah.
Just put it on ice, I guess.
Ooh, yeah. You could do Embrace the EP Stout and just fucking enrage people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people say
we'll see how my year
Whiskey
goes.
Stones.
Like,
Whiskey Stones.
Like room temperature, but it's so hot. So I'm gonna put a couple ice cubes in it.
Yeah.
Let's see how the year goes and how many people I can anger.
Be less upset.
Some people say that you should have a hot drink and a hot day, so I've microwaved this 15% MP.
It's only 32 degrees
an
right
MP
now,
with
so.
3 ice cubes in it versus a microwaved MP. Let's see which one I like best.
Good. Well, if anyone has any thoughts on this, get in touch. Outoflives.net on most of the social media places. Outoflives.net on the internet. You can comment on the video if you choose to do so. Rate and review us.
YouTube.
Yeah, or on YouTube. Yeah, Out of Lives over there as well. Rate and review us on your podcast service of choice if you have 5 minutes, because it always helps. I'm at Nova47 over on Blue Sky. Aadil is
at the Omniarch on all things except Twitch.
And Lucy is
Loose9 everywhere.
And thank you very much for joining us this evening. We've been Tanked Up, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ciao.
www.outoflives.net